those countries made a group and made an agreement. Okay, that's why it is named as NATO. Got it? And it is established in 1949 after World War II, which ended in 1945. So got it? So there are total around 30 plus members, like 31 countries in this. So what is the purpose of making this military alliance? What is the purpose? To protect each other and to earn more money. No, no, no. Not to earn more money. To protect each other. Other countries. Yes. For example, there are many powerful countries like China and Russia. Like China and Russia. For example, Russia, as we know, is one of the biggest enemy of USA. So the country which come in this NATO are from Europe and North America. In North America, do you know the meaning of the continents? Anyone know the meaning of continents? There are three continents now. Okay, like our India is located in which continent? India? Asia. Asia. Yes, the Asian country now. First of all, I would like you to understand about the word continent. Continent is the huge piece of mass where a group of countries are located. That is continent. And there are seven continents: Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, and Oceania. Okay, can say. So some European countries, I think there are 44 countries in Europe. So some European countries and some North American countries like USA and Canada. So they are the part of NATO. So got it? So they are the part of the NATO. So after World War II, they decided to protect themselves from enemies. Like the one of the biggest enemy of USA is Russia. USSR. Yes, USSR has broken down, I think, in 1991. At time called USSR. Yes, at time it is called USSR. But now it is still an enemy now. It is still an enemy. But USSR, there is no USSR. And the second one is China. So they are competing with each other. For example, Europe had an agreement with European countries to make to have influence in Europe. For example, if there is no influence of USA in Europe, then the Russia will overcome that. So that's one. So what is the purpose of making this NATO? The main purpose of making this NATO is prevent the war. Which are smaller, that cannot prevent themselves, that cannot defend themselves from enemies. So they help those countries to protect themselves. And they snatch all the petrol from the snatch all the protect. No, sir. Gold, petrol. So, sir, they are the some countries which are producing petrol. They don't come in the category of this NATO. For example, there are Gulf countries and Russia and I think Iraq, Iran. So they directly come under USA. No, they don't. USA is different country, and those are different country. USA is not a part of that country. USO itself has dependent. Okay. So, do you know the purpose of making this military alliance? No, prevent the war. For example, there are 31 countries, and if any one country attack only any one member of this country, then all will protect, all will defend. Like attack on one, attack on all. So that is the motive of this NATO. No, 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 no. Hamas. Gaza is a place located in Israel. Gaza is not a part of NATO. NATO is a group. Why Gaza is not a part of NATO? Do you want to know this? Because it is, first of all, it is not located around this North Atlantic Ocean. Yes, this is condition. Anyone cannot be the member of this. For example, Gaza is part of UN. Why UN is not protecting? Oh, Gaza is a part of UN. Why UN is not protecting? Good, very good question, sir. Sir, I'm very happy. You asked a good question. So okay, I'm explaining the sir question. Sir, asked when Gaza is a part of UN, like United Nations Organization, then why UN is not taking any action to protect? For example, as we know, there are around 195 countries in the world. Okay, and all the parts of the UNO. But there are five countries which have veto power. Do you know the meaning of veto power? For example, if first of all, I'm telling you the name of those five countries which have veto power: uh, USA, France, UK, China, Russia. एक दो तीन चार पाँच. So these, sir, India is not a part. India has not veto power. India has given to what given? Veto power. No, sir. India didn't give the at that time when after the World War II, these are the five countries which were very powerful. That's why they got veto power. And at that time, India was not a part of the, and India also under the control of British, because in 1945 UNO formed, and at that time India was not independent under the British rule. Yes, because if any decision like decision to stop war taken, USA, France, UK, China wants that we should protect the war, like we should prevent the war. But if Russia says no, it means decision has failed. Veto power means if four countries are in a favor of one decision, but if any one of them says no, it means decision cannot be formed. So that's why. That's why UNO is not saying no. Every time USA is saying no. So USA, for example, India tried many times to have veto power, but I think China refused. China refused that you cannot be a part of, you cannot have veto power. So that's why Israel so attacking that's on why USA is not protecting Gaza. USA is not protecting Gaza. Protecting Gaza. Yeah, that's why. No. Yeah, that's why. That is the reason. Yeah, that's why. And USA also, USA is also a friend of Israel, Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu. So that's why I think. Okay. So, sir, you have any other question? You can ask, sir, freely. Because suppose if India has veto power, then India has influence in Asia, and no, everyone wants to dominate. No one wants that. For example, if there are two people, like everyone wants to the topper of the class. Everyone. Yeah, I want to become the topper. You want to become the topper, sir. Yes. So, do you want if anyone will overcome you, like they will? No, I don't want. You don't want, na? So that's why China has veto power. If China gives the veto power to India, then India will also dominate there. India will influence on China matters. That's why China doesn't want to give the veto power to India, sir. No, China doesn't get fair in India, but still it will interfere na in some affairs. That's why China doesn't want. If you have any other question, you can ask freely, sir. If you have any other question, you can also ask freely. Yes, ma'am, please. No. The man for some smaller countries and grab their resources. I have brother. I have already told you many times that the main purpose of NATO is to protect each other's members and prevent the wars. What about Venezuela when that? First of all, Venezuela was not a part of NATO. Yes, that's why. For example, I am going. Yes. First of all, ma'am asked a very good question, and I want to reply very beautifully. We need to figure. No, 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 no. No, I'm gonna explain. Ma'am asked that why not every country is a part of NATO, and if I want to be a member of NATO, then how can I become? It's your question, na, ma'am. Okay. For example, USA and Ukraine war. Did you remember this war? Yeah. USA and Ukraine. Sorry, sorry. Russia. Yeah. And everyone saying, yeah. Okay. So Ukraine and Russia. Actually, Ukraine, any country. I'm telling you, how can you join it? First condition is that you should have some resources, natural resources. First of all, Ukraine, you,
Listen, first of all, I let me give you the answer of my main question, then I will come to you. Yes. First of all, because I am one. Listen, Ukraine. So actually, Ukraine wanted to the part of NATO. Ukraine shares the border with Russia. For example, there is Asia. So this is Ukraine. If this is Russia, so Ukraine shares the border with Russia. This is Ukraine, and Ukraine wanted to be a part of the NATO, but the Russia doesn't want, because if Ukraine become the member of the NATO, then Ukraine will easily invade on Russia. So that's why it doesn't want. So the conflict started between these two countries. Hmm? Many parts. Please stand up and ask clearly. And ask clearly. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Ukraine is a part. Hmm. 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 Do you want to know that Ukraine was a part of Russia at that time, when there was USSR? Yes, at that time it was a part of that. But when it collapsed, when USSR collapsed, then there were only 15 countries now in that USSR. So when this collapsed, then every country got dependent. Like every country has different government. At that time is what dependent on Russia, but not right now. Because in 1991 USSR collapsed. So that they should now have to officially announced, or you have to give, I think, in written form, become the part of the NATO. I think hopefully I answered your question, man. Okay. Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.